Earlier in this course, we talked about several methods of adding numbers, and we also talked about different ways of sorting and filtering. In this movie, we'll put these concepts together to let Excel create subtotals for us automatically. If you take a look at this worksheet, we have some pretty typical information: last name, first name, department, and so on. Well, let's just do some basic sorting first. Click somewhere in the last name field, and on the Home tab, let's go over here to Sort and Filter, and we can sort A to Z. Maybe let's go to State, click Sort and Filter, and we can sort C to A. Well, what we want to do is we want to give some information to department heads. You see we have all these different departments. We want the department heads to know, for example, what's the total number of hours that their people incurred? And maybe we want to tell them what's the average rate. So first thing you want to do is go into the department field, and let's sort and filter A to Z. So we have all the executives, all the finance people, all the graphics people, and so on. So now go up to the Data tab, and over on the right, click Subtotal. So what we want to do is find where is this changing? Well, we're changing this by department. So over here where it says at each change in, click that drop down and choose department. Well, what function do we want? Well, we want to add up the hours. So click on this drop down and choose sum. And what do we want to sum? Well, we want to sum the hours. So over here, if you have anything selected, just deselect, scroll if you need to. And we want to make sure that hours is the only field that has a check mark. And that's it. Click OK. Now we can see total hours for executive, total hours for finance, total hours for graphics, and so on. You might also notice over here, we have the outlining is in effect. And if you watch the movie on grouping and outlining, this will look familiar. And here's the deal. If you click this number 1 on top, this shows you just the grand total. Click the number 2, and this shows you grand total plus the component totals. If you click the number 3, this shows you all the detail. Plus, I'm just going to click the number 2 here for a second. You can expand or collapse any of the components. So maybe you want to see just the finance department detail and the aggregate detail for all the others. So it's very flexible. Well, let's click on this number 3 so we can see all the detail again. And now what we want to do is we want to display what is the average rate for each department. So make sure you're clicked somewhere in this data area. Any cell will do. Go back to subtotal. And again, we're going to keep at each change a department, but this time we want to use the average function. Deselect hours because we're not in average the hours, we want to average the rate. And you see over here it says replace current subtotals. You want to deselect that because we want to leave the totals here. So we're going to have total and average for each department, and click OK. So now we have the average executive rate and the total executive hours, and we have the average finance rate and the total finance hours for each one. And now you see over here in the outlining, we have 4 levels. So if you click 4, we have all of the detail. Click the level 3, we have the aggregate, average and total for each department. Click the 2, we have just the totals, but grand average and grand total. And if you click the number 1, we have the grand average and grand total for the entire worksheet. And I'll just click this number 4 again. So if you ever need to find subtotals or averages or counts for a large amount of data, don't do them manually. Use the subtotal feature in the Data tab. I think you'll find it pretty handy.